Today I'm joined with the Southland Conference Commissioner, Chris Grant. Thanks for joining me, Chris.
Thanks for having me here in the Valley. It's great to be on campus once again.
Well, let's talk about the FCS playoff structure. So when it comes to FBS versus FCS subdivisions, what are some differences in the postseason structure?
FCS is totally different. Everyone's like, well, 6 games and we're in. Well, no, it's not a bowl game. The FBS, that's not the playoff. When you win 6 games, you're not getting into CFP. And it's similar to FCS that typically I say that win total, you're looking at 8, 9 wins, and they have to be quality wins. If you're not our automatic qualifier, which is the conference champion. So we send one automatically to the FCS playoff, then all the other bids are at large, but so with that said, your strength of schedule, your, what's your body of work and like opponents and who you've beaten, who's beaten someone else, all comes into play. So we have a committee of 12 members and one which represents us from Incarnate Word this year, and Richard Duran, athletic director there. But we're doing our charge. We had a call this morning, and the Carroll Nation will be happy to know UTRGV is on the board, right, and talking to that. However, it's going to be based on the rest of the season and outcomes and what happens there, and even how much you win by is factored in, right? Who you lose to, did you lose to them in good fashion, or was it a blowout, got out of hand? Like, they're looking that much in depth because there's only 24 opportunities to get in. And so is that important? And luckily committee members watch every game, every tape, but at the same time, that can be detrimental if you're not playing through the last horn. And so it's a great opportunity. You have an opportunity to host at home, throughout, so if you, on a winning side, have a great, seed, then you host, and then you can survive and advance after that. This year's championship had historically been in Frisco. Southland Conference was the host for the last 15 years. We have some construction going on at FCS Dallas Stadium this year. So with that, for the next 2 years, it'll be at Vanderbilt and in Nashville. So another great party scene.
Yeah.
I think another great opportunity for, and even if your team's not participating, I think it's great for the Valleys to take that trip up. I mean, Nashville's a great place, but at the same time, get ready in preparation of what that looks like for the future and being in that. And, historically, North Dakota State, South Dakota State, some of the Montanas, they've always been in that, right? And so like, oh, well, they're going to go in every year. Well, the Southland's one of, I wanted to say 3 conferences in the last decade that actually win a national championship. And, look, I'm going to say we have 9 that participated in that national championship game over the years. So, look, we're not taking a backseat to anyone. And this year, I think we have enough in the coffers with all of our teams to compete at a national level and have success in the playoffs.
How does this FCS playoff structure give Southland Conference teams a chance to compete at a national level?
One, you host, right? And so the opportunity, our champion typically will host either the first round or a second round game. And so having someone come to us in our hostile environments, as I mentioned earlier, is a plus to the win all the way, and the exposure opportunities that come from that. But 2, it's going 1-0 every round is so important. And, our last, I'll say successful run was probably Incarnate Word 3 years ago when they went on to be in one of the Final 4, playing at North Dakota State, having a 17-point lead at one time. And just, again, that home field advantage kicked in at North Dakota State. If you haven't been to Fargo, it's like no other playing in the Dome, and it's different. And so you really have to be on your P's and Q's throughout the entire game. And so for us, it's really playing these non-conference opportunities that we've had and seeing the success we've had there. I think we finished in the middle of the pack this year, around like 5th or 6th when it comes to in the standings about wins and losses against non-conference opponents. But the quality of opponent really matters because you figure what the best of the best looks like when you get to the postseason and what you need to work on individually and as a team, what it takes to get to the end and have success. So you hope that prevails and hope we continue to have a compelling and really tough conference schedule now here in the second half of the season. And I think that's going to prep everyone really well.